Get out of your own way, dude. You're overcomplicating everything. And here's the trick. It's not actually you, it's your ego. But if you can't recognize that and separate yourself from that, then it is you. Hey creators, Aimon here, and this is where I help you master your creative mindset. Don't you love it how I just dive straight into the value? You know, if I was someone watching a video like this that dove straight into the value, I would subscribe. You can do whatever you want though. But anyway, here's how our brains overcomplicate everything and stop us from getting what we want. And when you know this, it's so huge because you can recognize it, separate yourself from it, realize it's not you, and then start taking the actions to make things a lot easier for yourself, because things are way easier than you think they are. Your brain just gets in the way. So, you know, it all comes back to evolutionary biology. I just love talking about it because it's like you can understand yourself and your actions and who you are. Because again, we're just like little scared little apes in caves. You know, if you're religious, maybe this doesn't sit well with you, but this is what we are at the forefront of everything. And modern technology has come about and it's fantastic, but we're not used to it just yet, you know? Our brains haven't actually made the evolutionary biological changes to keep up with where we're at right now. I'm just an ape and I'm looking at this camera, I'm like, oh my God, what is this technology? Or, you know? Oh my God, did I just make an ape noise on the internet? Anyway, getting back on track. So all our brain wants to do is protect us, right? That's what our ego wants to do. And it's very right to do that. And we love that. And back in the day, if we were being chased by elephants or panthers or other cavemen, whatever, it would do whatever it can to protect you. Okay. And generally that, you know, that's a physical threat, what I just described there. In the modern day and age, we don't have as many physical threats, although violence is rising from what I see. But it's mostly mental and social threats, right? So we have threats of, you know, oh my God, is that person going to like me? And what that actually means, zooming out on an evolutionary biological level, is like, if that person doesn't like me and they tell all the other people within this like circle, whether it's your job or your friend circle or whatever, and then they all of a sudden, they all don't like you, then they're going to outcast you socially and you won't have enough food to survive. Sorry, I'm burping a lot right now, and you will die. Okay. That's where that comes from on an evolutionary biological level. So that's a social threat, which is what encourages us to do the right things in terms of our social, our friends, right? And so to zoom back in a little bit, this is what your brain does on a day-to-day basis with everything to try and get you to stay the same because it's comfortable where you're at right now, right? And so here's an example of me and music, okay? So I've been making music for 10 years, right? And it got to the point like 3 years ago, I, you know, bashed out 500 songs. I've got like over 500K plays online on all my music and that kind of thing. And I got to like, I've never really thought that I'm like that good at making music. Okay. And, you know, that's a whole other conversation in itself. But like, it got to the point maybe 3 years ago where I was like, man, you're just not that good at making music. You probably should just chill out and like not make music because you're just not that good at it. And having a bit of ADHD brain that I do, like I've started and stopped many different projects, including YouTube, including music, right? But the example right now is music. And then time and time again, I proved to myself that you actually can make music. And this is what happened. So my brain put all of these hurdles in the way to make it seem harder for me to make music. Oh, well, you know, I'd need like maybe an hour either side. Otherwise, I can't really get into a creative flow. That's a lie. Oh, you know, like, oh, I just got home from like a twilight shoot. I run a media company, right? So we have twilight shoots sometimes. I probably could. I don't have enough time. I'm a little bit tired from the day. That's a lie. Okay. Oh, like, you know, I just kind of like I'm not really in a creative mood right now, and you know, again, I probably just need a little bit more time. That's a lie. Okay. Again, I'm just not really good at making music. That's a lie. All these are limiting beliefs as well. And this is again, your brain is making these things up, putting these hurdles in front of you that you have to jump over to make it seem harder to do this thing because it will make you more comfortable with where you're at right now. Turns out you can just walk right around all these hurdles. I could keep going on examples that I've made up in my own mind, right? But again, the trick to this is knowing that this isn't you that's putting these barriers in place. This is your ego. And your ego, when you know this, it's just trying to do right by you. It's just trying to protect you, keep you safe so you don't die. And that's a beautiful, wonderful thing. But when you can see that for what it is and you're like, hey, dude, thanks for that. But actually, me making music right now is not going to kill me. Okay. And yeah, it probably would be better laying on my little couch over here scrolling on TikTok, right? Because that's super comfortable. It's like, but then you put music out and what happens if people see you and then they judge you and there's a million different hurdles, okay? But then I'd prove to myself time and time again, whenever I did overcome these hurdles, whenever I did recognize them for what they were, and I jumped in and I made music, and then sometimes I would just bash out this insane piece of music that I never could have imagined that I was able to create in an hour, right? And when you do something like that, you go, oh my God, I can make music. And I've been lying to myself this whole time. It's crazy. And wow, I just received an intense email. I got to read that ASAP. That made my heart rate rise. But that's a story for another day as well. And you prove to yourself over and over again that you in fact can do the thing. And so this is the thing, is that you need to get out of your own way. But it's not your way that you're in, it's your ego's way. It just puts things in your path and you're like, oh, the path's blocked. I can't go that way. But it's a lie. You can just walk around it. Or if you see it for what it is, the imaginatory, I'm making up words here now, guys. Help me. It's just in the way. Like that imaginary thing that's in the way, it just fades away. It doesn't exist. Okay? And so yeah, your brain is overcomplicating everything for you. And when you realize this, it's a fantastic thing because you can just chill out and realize that you can get out of your own way and you can do all of the things that you want on your creative project. Now, that was just one example in music for me, right? But there's so many examples in my own life that this has happened. And it happens on a day-to-day basis. It happens on a week-to-week basis, month-to-month basis, and a yearly basis as well. And if, you can recognize it, but then if you don't keep a keen eye on it, it will come back up and it will just figure out a way to overcomplicate your life once again. And this happens in creative projects, which is what we talk about here on this channel. Feel free to sub if you want. I don't care. I do care. But it happens in your relationships, it happens in business, it happens in everything. Again, your mind just overcomplicates everything because it's trying to keep you safe. At the root of it, that's the point of this video, right? And yeah, if you can recognize that you don't need that. Hey brain, thank you. That's not necessary. I'm going to cast that aside now. I appreciate it, but it's not necessary. And that's the key, is recognizing it for what it is. And there's definitely habits that you can have in place, like mindfulness and different things that you can do to ensure that you can recognize these things as they appear, because they're just not real. None of them are real. And I'd love to hear from you what some of your limiting beliefs are, or some of the blocks that your brain's put in the way, some of the hurdles. I would love to know what they are. Because in the comments, let me know, because if you can, publicly name and shame those things which aren't yourself, then it's going to be, again, much easier for you to just overcome those hurdles, right? But this has been huge in my creative projects personally, is that, your brain's, it's your own worst enemy sometimes. And it's like, hey, bro, thought you were on my side, dude. But it's actually not sometimes, But anyway, I'm just kind of blabbing now, but you can get out of your own way. Okay. And that's the point, is that, your brain overcomplicates everything. And it doesn't have to be that way, because it is way easier than you think it is, and you can just do the thing. Even if it's like running or going to the gym, it happens with everything. Oh, I couldn't possibly. And I'm like, just put your shoes on and go to the gym, dude. What's that? That one book that everyone talks about when it comes to productivity? I always forget it. But James Clear, Atomic Habits, that's the one. They don't say go to the gym and have a 45-year workout. Just put your shoes on. And it works every single time, because your brain puts these hurdles in place. And you're like, just go to the gym, dude. Do that one favorite exercise you like. And you end up having a banging workout every time. It's like, just open Ableton. See what happens. Just make that one guitar riff that you've been thinking about all day. And you end up making a masterpiece in like 40 minutes. And you're like, oh, turns out I was lying to myself this whole time. Anyway, hopefully you got some value out of this video. I'd love to know what your limiting beliefs are. If you got any value out of this, or anything you have to add in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.